It's been an incredibly interesting week here in Strasbourg at the European Parliament, and to discuss what's been going on, I'm joined by Peter von Kohl, EU Reporter Strasbourg correspondent. Peter, what are the main stories that you've been covering?
Well, in my opinion, it has been, again, I had to say, the clash between the two commissioners responsible for Connie Hedegaard, the climate, and Oettinger, the German commissioner for energy. The Parliament has to participate in this fight, and it's not good. Instead of having a clear signal from the Commission saying that we have to have renewable energy in so and so many percentages compared to earlier standards, there are no clear signals. And if I was an investor, I wouldn't dare to invest in green energy right now, as long as there is no clear signal how and when will the new policy be there.
So it's a disagreement between two European commissioners,
exactly.
Energy and climate.
Yes.
Why is the Parliament involved?
Because the Parliament has to approve this whole thing they have come up with from the Commission, and that's where the strength of the Parliament lies, and they have to show muscles.
Okay, another story this week has been the situation in the Ukraine. What's the current Parliament position on the events in the Ukraine?
As far as I can see, they are trying to find a balance, which means that they are trying to not offend Russia, not at least too much. Elmar Brok said it once, because Russia is putting pressure to Ukraine, we shouldn't put pressure to Russia. And that might be a good diplomatic standpoint. On the other hand, people are even dying in Ukraine, and the European Parliament have had a lot of, even from each party, delegations over there under the leadership of Elmar Brok to talk to people. Funny enough, the president became ill when the group from the European Parliament...
And he miraculously recovered after they left.
Astonishingly.
At the same time, Russia has a very sore nerve at the moment, a raw nerve with the Sochi Games. It's been suggested even that there should be a boycott of the Sochi Games. Do you think that's realistic?
It's an old discussion whether politics and sport should be mixed. In my opinion, this time there is a clear message there should have been from the Parliament when it comes to human rights violation. I'm not only talking about the way Putin is trying to blame everyone who is gay, that he or she is gay, but also the environmental situation in the Ukraine is to be blamed here and should have been approached in a much more harsh way, I would even say, from outside. I mean, the whole landscape has been ruined. It was such a beautiful landscape. Now they have built enormous building due to the Olympic Games. And what to do with them afterwards? There have been thousands of dogs in the streets. What to do with these dogs?
Well, I want to come on to that in a moment. But firstly, should Europe be flexing its muscle with Russia, or should we be trying to sort of calm the situation down?
I think it's a long time ago that you could really say politics should stay out of sports events. It has become, due to the money involved, of course, also, it has become a political matter, and the European Parliament defending human rights should have stepped in.
Okay. But regarding Sochi, there's also been an animal welfare issue about the cull of wild dogs in Sochi, and I know you've covered that story. What's the issue there?
I mean, personally, I cannot blame the authorities that they want to do something for those poor dogs, that they have to diminish the number. The problem is not that they are doing this, the problem is the way they are doing it. You're not killing animals by poison darts you're shooting into them, letting them die slowly for days they run around before this poison kills them. You cannot throw them into ovens and let them burn up alive. That's simply unacceptable. And that should have been blamed much more strongly than it has been the case.
Okay, and finally, can I ask you about one of the things that's been discussed today is the air passenger rights. We seem to be discussing this at the European Parliament forever. What's happening?
That's a good question. Again, I mean, sometimes you have the feeling that they don't want really to be, you could say, harsh in their demands towards such an important part of our life. But you have to do some kind of regulation, and again, the European Parliament is at the moment a little bit too weak in taking decisions.
I mean, the regulations propose that people will be compensated for delays, for rerouting, and have their complaints taken seriously. That doesn't seem to be happening.
No, but on the other hand, you have air companies, flight companies who are definitely not very wealthy anymore. They are struggling with pilots who want to raise their salaries. They are having demands from all over. So you have to find a balance, and that's acceptable, that's understandable, but up to a certain point.
One final question. This month there are 2 Strasbourg sessions, not only one. Why is this?
Mainly because of the elections. We have in May election, there will be no sitting of the Parliament in election time, and you always have the summer holiday in August. And due to a very old rule, even from the Rome Treaty, back when the whole thing here was established, there is a demand for 12 sessions a year. So we always have a month with 2 sessions. We will have it this year as well.
Peter von Kohl, thank you very much.